Welcome to BPTV. I'm your host, Andy Amrine, and this is Around Town. And today we're stopping back down at Michael Brothers. I know we've been at Michael Brothers before, but this is about our Christmas tree lighting recycling. So you're recycling all those Christmas lights, all those holiday lights, whether they're Halloween lights or holiday, whatever. Bring them down to Michael Brothers, or there's 40 some locations around Southwest Pennsylvania where you could drop those lights off. Everything goes to Project Bundle Up. So stay tuned. Let's talk to some of the staff and you can find out what's going on with the Holiday Light Recycling Program. All right, we're back here at Michael Brothers. Tom, it's always fun coming down to your facility. It looks like every time I come, you keep growing and growing and growing. So that's a good thing.
We try.
So, but we're here today about Christmas lights.
Yeah.
You guys have been recycling Christmas lights for quite a few years, and I get asked all the time because people drop off Christmas lights, especially this time of year. They drop them off by the bagfuls, and I know today we filled 3 55-gallon garbage bags full of lights that my driver dropped down here. And the first question always from my customers, are you sure they're recycling these? These aren't just going into the garbage. And I assure them they're not, and that the money goes to a good cause and so forth. So I thought we'd come down and let you tell all our viewers directly what's going on with the Christmas lights. Do you really recycle them? And where do the proceeds go? Because it's a great thing that you guys do.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's 3 years in the making that we've been doing this. My parents kind of were always so fond of Project Bundle Up. So we thought this was a great way to spread the word about Michael Brothers and also do a good thing for the community.
Okay.
So by what we do all year long, we collect the Christmas lights. Even in the summer, if somebody comes down and wants to sell them to us, we'll buy them and we'll throw them in a box. Or from all the donations from all the stores that Boyd will tell you about here in a minute, we collect all those Christmas lights. We bring them back. We then box them and prepare them to be shipped.
Okay.
And yes, they're recycled or we wouldn't be doing it. People always say, oh, well, can you do that? Can you do that? A lot of times there's still some waste when you recycle,
well, sure.
But the majority of what we're doing is keeping the copper, the valuable material, out of the landfill. So what we do is we box these and we ship them downstream to the next recycler, which is a copper wire chopper.
Okay.
And they have a very sophisticated multi-million-dollar machines that chop up all the Christmas lights very, very fine, like grains of sand.
And it doesn't matter that the bulbs are on there or anything like that?
Between air separation and light separation and different things like that, vibratory shaker decks and things like that, they're able to get perfectly pure copper out of the waste. So yes, there's some waste generated, but there's waste when almost everything gets recycled.
Right.
But the point is, all this valuable copper that we no longer have to mine and destroy the environment to get, we're able to recapture instead of being lost in the landfill forever.
Okay, so the copper that they're taking out of the lights are the part that is valuable, and that's actually recycled, reused, and made into new Christmas lights or extension cord or whatever they're doing with the copper itself.
Absolutely. So there's value to copper. Copper is one of the more valuable commodities.
Okay.
So last year, for example, we were able to collect over 16,000 pounds of Christmas lights.
16,000 pounds of Christmas lights.
Which got us a donation of a little over $8,000 to Project Bundle Up.
Wow.
So, with just
that's
a little bit
lot
of
of Christmas lights.
It is, and it's a little bit of hard work from everybody doing the right thing, making sure they find the facilities to drop them off, and then our staff running around or your staff running around and bringing them down to us, and our guys boxing them up and warehousing them until we get enough to ship them. But at the end of the day, it's the main thing is keeping it out of the landfill and creating value out of something that most people thought was junk.
Well, as far as on my store end, I mean, it's our pleasure to do it. It's simple enough to do it. The customers just carry in, whether it's one bundle or a whole bag full of Christmas lights. My staff just takes them, we put them into a corner, and right now, because of the volume, it's about once a day. My driver, when he goes out on deliveries, he drives by here in Baldwin once a day, and he just drops them off and puts them in the bin and keep going. If the customer wants to bring them down here, you have a drive-through service where they can just pull in, hand you the lights and keep going.
Absolutely, the attendants will come out, help you unload it, get it into the right bin, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like in the recycling world, there's many steps until the finished product. Actually in this case, your store would be the first
step.
the first collection site. We would be the second, where we're preparing, packaging, and trying to maximize shipping for freight purposes and environmental purposes. And then it goes down to the next guy and the next guy that will then continue to refine the recycling process until
Right.
they melt it back down in the new car.
I mean, it was easy for us, my staff, because we're not really doing anything. I have to chuckle on Saturday. The only time we ever had to do anything is a lady brought the string of lights and it had about 40 candy canes on it. And I didn't think you wanted the candy canes.
Don't want
so,
candy
so we
canes.
did take the candy canes off of it. She says, by the way, those are about 4 years old. So we disposed of the candy canes, but that's the only time we really have had to do anything with the lights. They just bundled and brought down, and
Well,
they're yours.
I think what you're saying is so important in any of
It's
the
easy.
recycling we do. People just have to be willing to do a little more work and prepare the material so
Yeah.
our staff can efficiently do it. We also recycle Christmas trees, and at our one facility, and people always want to bring them in with tinsel or lights. That one thing that goes through the grinder would ruin everybody's hard
The
work,
whole
hundreds
batch.
of trees, because somebody put it in there and we weren't able to identify it before it got into the grinder. So the main thing is just with like all recycling is just to keep it really organized, really clean, and follow the rules.
Okay, so this is your third year doing Christmas
Third
lights.
year.
Last year, the second year, you donated $8,000 to
Yeah.
Project Bundle Up.
That's correct, right?
And
This is
so we're targeting 10,000 for this year with
Yeah,
it.
well, my team will tell you. Boyd Jones does a great job with our public outreach.
Okay.
He can tell you about the stores, and these guys always know if we did 8, we better do 10.
We gotta
if we
do
do 10,
10.
we got to
It's
do
the
12. And sometimes it's hard to make.
So
those
you just
leaps.
said we're doing 12 this year.
No, 10 this year,
Oh,
12 next year. That's right.
Steps.
But Boyd, if you'd
Okay,
like to
yeah,
tell us
boy,
about
tell
some of
us
the
tell us
stores.
some of the locations,
Yeah,
because they don't
absolutely.
have to take them just to EV Hardware down here. You have places all over
Definitely.
Southwest Pennsylvania collecting
This year we have
lights.
46 different locations around Pittsburgh, including our 4 locations here in Baldwin, our Reserve Township location, as well as our Adamsburg and Mount Pleasant locations. We've partnered with great local hardware stores,
Mm-hmm.
True Value, as well as other stores around Pittsburgh. And we're going to give you guys the list as well to put up there for everybody
Okay.
to see. And last year we did something a little different. Since we reach all around the city of Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas, we have a couple municipalities where we have helped out with recycling programs in their municipalities there. So what we've been able to do is we've partnered with them on recycling already, so we figured it was an easy step to come in there and say, hey, we assume that your residents want to
Right.
recycle, so we think that they're going to want to bring in their Christmas lights. So we've had those municipalities as well.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be on the list too. And like Tom said, we're really excited this year to hopefully get over the 10,000 pounds or $10,000 and
yeah, 20,000.
20,000 pounds this year.
20,000
Exactly.
pounds.
Yeah, $10,000 this year, and really up our game a little bit.
So, I mean,
I'm
this
excited.
is first week of December, so Christmas decorating is really just hasn't quite peaked yet. How is it going this year, do you think? Are you above where we were last year? Are the municipalities in all these locations
I would
calling
say
with
so.
good response? I know we're getting a very good response this year.
I got emails in September from municipalities saying that they wanted the stands out. So I had a couple municipalities. We sent
Okay.
them out in October for people to do Halloween lights. So they started with Halloween this
Okay.
year, and we're just rolling all into December, and we're going to see how many lights we can get. We've had a couple pickups already, which ahead of last year,
Okay.
we had pickups in November. So it's December 2nd right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely feel we're ahead of the game. We're really excited about it.
So since it's copper, if somebody has bad extension cords or anything, they can put those in with the Christmas lights and send them on down. They're not going to interfere with what you're recycling on Christmas lights, correct?
Yes, exactly. They could put those in there if they'd like. Obviously, we're asking just for Christmas lights here, but if it's the wire that's coming down, it's also going to get
Okay.
recycled as well.
As long as nothing that's not, don't go sending your tin cans and glass
Correct.
jars
Yeah.
and
We have other
cardboard or
locations for that,
anything
too.
like that. But,
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, it's just the copper value. So the Christmas lights, extension cords, anything like that, we'll do it.
We'll take 'em.
So when do you talk to Project Bundle Up? Is it
Yeah.
the end of December, or?
We're really excited. So this week, this Friday, around 7 o'clock, if you turn on WTAE, we will be
Okay.
on the telethon. And we'll be on there talking about our donation that we made for this past year.
Okay.
And then in around February or March is whenever we'll be having all of our totals in from collecting all the lights,
Okay.
getting all the stands picked up, and we should have our totals in by then and making our donation for this year.
Yeah, that's a heartwarming project, Project Bundle Up. And it's already pretty cold outside, so
It is.
Winter's ahead of schedule too.
In the last 2 years, we've done the shopping trips with Salvation Army. And I'm sure Tom can say it's been an
heartwarming.
incredible experience going out, taking the kids out shopping, making sure that they have warm winter wear. It's been such a great experience.
Well, guys, thank you for what you do for Bethel Park, but all the surrounding communities itself, not just the recycling of the Christmas lights, but all the recycling. I mean, you've taken recycling to the next level for our communities, and on behalf of my store, my staff, but for Bethel Park, we want to thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you. We're glad to help. And one thing I do want to mention is everybody hears recycling and everybody gets excited. Just remember, you have to follow the right channels. So even though Christmas lights are recyclable here at Michael Brothers, they're not recyclable at your curbside. They actually can really affect the machines at the factory that does your curbside recycling. So do not put Christmas lights in your curbside recycling box.
Good point. Did not know that.
Yes.
So here we are inside the drive-through at Michael Brothers. And in the drive-through, this is where vehicles will just pull in. The staff will unload the products that they're bringing to recycle. But in the Christmas lights, it's going to be really simple. You're going to do nothing but drive through, either hand your lights out, or they're just going to add them to this pile of Christmas lights we have here. And then from there, they process and ship it downstream to be recycled. Very easy, very simple, takes minutes to drive through and drop off your Christmas lights if you want to bring them directly down to Michael Brothers.
Is that all you have today? Yeah. All right. Have a good day.
I hope you enjoyed learning how easy it is to recycle all those holiday lights, but don't forget, there's a lot of cool stuff out there that you could be recycling with Michael Brothers, a great partner of Bethel Park. But we appreciate, as always, you turning into BPTV. I'm your host, Andy Amrine, and we'll see you around town soon.